1999's The Matrix is a true classic, with a mind-bending story and spoon-bending special effects. But does this original and mind-bending film have such an original story structure? Well, it's time to tear down The Matrix and find out. Firstly, thanks to all those who've suggested these teardown videos. There are more coming, so please make sure you subscribe and press the little bell thingy. For a step-by-step guide for story structure, then check out The Art of Structure, Story Mechanics for Screenwriters by following the links somewhere around here. So first off, let's look at the principal cast, and by that we mean the antagonist, the hero, the mentor, the central character, the love interest, and the antagonist's agent. Are all these roles clear and identifiable? The force of antagonism is present from the outset. Once the Matrix is revealed, it's pretty clear it has too much at stake to let a cheeky power pack like Neo get in the way. Neo is a classic hero, latent untapped ability, reluctant yet with oodles of self-doubt. Classic because the hero and antagonist are polar opposites. Whereas Neo has doubt and fear, the Matrix has neither. Morpheus is textbook mentor. He recruits Neo, knows the rules and has nearly all the answers, although the Oracle steals some thunder there. In structural terms, he's a perfect bridge between the real world of Act 1 and the adventure world of Act 2, although the real world, as we learn, isn't actually real. As the central character, the character who roots the audience in reality, Trinity does a pretty perfect job. She is also the love interest, and as such is the hero's reward for change, a function she delivers remarkably well considering the genre. Love interests can be tokens in action movies, but in The Matrix, Trinity is strong, sexy, capable and compassionate, offering a real strength and depth to the movie as a whole. Agent Smith is also flawless as the manifestation of the Matrix's power and is relentless in defending its grip. This could easily be overplayed, but instead, Agent Smith is as sinister as he is as cool as a cucumber. Not that cucumbers actually exist in The Matrix, of course. Okay, so in Act 1, Sequence 1, we show the real world is not all it seems. We learn there's an antagonist, albeit a mysterious one, and we establish Neo seeking answers. 10 minutes in, the inciting incident, or beat 1. This creates an irreversible bridge between the world of the antagonist and the world of the hero. This cannot be undone. Neo's flaw is doubt. He knows he can make a difference, but fears how. This is shamelessly and repeatedly foreshadowed and then paid off later in the climax.
You have a problem with authority, Mr. Anderson. You believe that you are special, that somehow the rules do not apply to you. Obviously, you are mistaken.
13 minutes in, we see a call to adventure.
Do you know who this is?
Which Neo refuses because of his flaw, his doubt.
No way. No way. This is crazy.
This scene marks the end of the status quo and the end of Sequence 1. We now move across to Sequence 2, where we have a period of refusal and escalation for the hero. This refusal is fueled by his flaw.
Why?
Because you have been down there, Neo.
Do you believe in fate, Neo?
No,
Why not?
because I don't like the idea that I'm not in control of my life.
30 minutes in, Morpheus states the call again, this time explicitly, and Neo accepts. This, beat 2, shows a transition from the first act into the second act. In order to hide the wiring, this plays out over several scenes, and you can get more information on that from The Art of Structure through the download up here. Importantly, because this is a threshold, there's no going back, except for the times when they do technically go back into the Matrix. But they do so knowing that they are going back into the Matrix, which structurally is okay. With the world of the story and the principal cast established, it's now time to meet the allies and truly learn what the hero is up against. This is Sequence 3. The important point is that the audience is instilled with a hope of success. Everything is just lovely. Okay, so let's just clarify where we are. We have a mentor who is happy because he's found the one. We have Neo, who is happy because he has finally, or is about to get answers to those deep questions that he's been searching for. All the allies are happy because they believe that through Morpheus they have found the one. We have the glimmer of a love interest, so the relationship between Trinity and Neo is again a rising line, and although we can see this rising line, by contrast we can see that because of all of this hope that this is instilling in the audience, there is a fear from an antagonist point of view. Their action line is dropping as a result. 45 minutes in and the training sequence 4 begins.
I gotta tell you, I'm fairly excited to see what you're capable of.
All still rising action, all still instilling hope in the audience.
I'm going to learn jiu-jitsu.
Neo is feeding his desire for control and the audience sees the potential.
I know what you're trying to do.
I'm trying to free your mind, Neo.
However, the issue of doubt is reinforced again and again, and the hero is still resistant to change. This resistance is working for the antagonist. Neo's lack of belief in his ability is pushing him further from his objectives.
Every single man or woman who has stood their ground, everyone who has fought an agent has died. But where they have failed, you will succeed.
What are you trying to tell me? That I can dodge bullets?
No, Neo. I'm trying to tell you that when you're ready, you won't have to.
The first 2 sequences of Act 2 have instilled hope in the audience, but
Then we have a deal.
at the midpoint, beat 3, there is a dramatic turn. One of the allies is turned by the Matrix. The Matrix itself is fighting back. We now enter sequence 5. What we see in the second half of Act 2 is Neo wrestling with that belief. Fear and doubt are at every turn. Here are a few scenes to reinforce that.
To deny our own impulses is to deny the very thing that makes us human.
What does that mean?
But the Matrix cannot tell you who you are.
But an oracle can?
Do not try and bend the spoon. That's impossible. Instead, only try to realize the truth.
What truth?
There is no spoon.
What the audience needs now is some reassurance that Neo is actually the one.
I'm not the one.
Sorry, kid. You got the gift. But it looks like you're waiting for something.
With Neo not being the one, this paves the way to failure. This is played out in sequence 6. The subtext, the subjective story of Neo being the one and getting that control is now all in jeopardy. All protection is now being stripped away. By the end of sequence 6, or beat 4, Neo's doubt will mean an end to the resistance and the death of Morpheus. All hope is lost. Everything feels to bottom out. Even the love interest seems at jeopardy if Neo is not the one.
The oracle. She told me this would happen.
The audience feels hope again, but also fear. If Neo is not the one, how will he succeed? It's a suicide mission. Everyone going up against an agent before has died.
Morpheus did what he did because he believed that I'm something I'm not.
Now firmly in the third act, this 7th sequence is all about Neo's resurrection. He takes the lead and, once again, the antagonist's plan is in jeopardy. This scene works on so many levels. Firstly, it's a cool action set piece, but it shows the main character and the central character as equal, which is to say Neo isn't fighting like the one, thus seeding a later scene. By the midpoint of Act 3, it's time for beat 5, the twist.
She told me
She told you exactly what you needed to hear.
A new sequence and the call to adventure is figuratively repeated. All common sense suggests Neo should run. Everyone taking on an agent has died, but this time, no refusal. Neo finds his mojo. Neo's transformation is complete. He shuns his real name and takes the control he's always believed he had. Set up, payoff. Set up, payoff. We're now ramping up the tension as the real world is threatened, or more importantly, Neo's love interest is threatened. So we've been through all of this. Why? What's been the reason for the journey? Well, the reason for the journey, the reward for the hero's change is the love interest. Love is what the story is about.
The Oracle told me that
Isn't it just lovely? It is, but it's also universal because we can all relate to this issue of change and then letting love into your life as a result of change. All this setup means it's now time for the payoff we've all been waiting for. I've tweaked around with this scene a little bit and added some audio just to kind of remind us the journey that Neo has come on.
You have a problem with authority, Mr. Anderson.
I know what you're trying to do.
Do not try and bend the spoon.
No.
I'm trying to free your mind, Neo.
When you're ready,
I can dodge bullets.
you won't have to. You won't have to.
He's beginning to believe.
That somehow the rules do not apply to you.
I'm trying to tell you that when you're ready,
There is no spoon.
This part is very clever. For those who've seen the video on character arcs, the link's up here, you may recall that for bonus points you can reverse the antagonist's character arc to show how far the hero has come, going from fear to hope in the hero and from hope turning into fear for the antagonist. And it's really clear on this particular frame where the fear sits. Okay, let's go back and see how far our hero has come by looking at the closing shot again of sequence 1. It's clear here there is fear and doubt. His transformation is now complete, and to prove the point that he would now look so out of place in the real world, we have a fantastic closing shot. Okay, so let's just break this structure down again, just so we're clear. The Matrix runtime is 123 minutes or 123 pages. Now that is without credit and title sequences. Beat 1, the inciting incident, is 10 minutes in, and the call to adventure, or the threshold into Act 2, is 32 minutes in. Beat 3, the high point, is exactly middle way through Act 2. Beat 4, the low point or the crashing point, which is also the threshold that crosses you into Act 3, is 91 minutes in. Beat 5, the false resolution or twist, occurs 107 minutes in, with beat 6, the climax, being at 123 minutes. Hopefully this tutorial's given you a better understanding of the mechanics behind the Matrix, and also hopefully inspired you to use a classic story structure in the movies that you write. If you want more information on how to structure, then check out our step-by-step guide, The Art of Structure, Story Mechanics for Screenwriters, by following the link wherever it appears. Finally, remember that this is a structure and not the structure. Beats and sequences and themes are really just ingredients, they're not weights and measures. True, the Matrix has a classic structure, but that doesn't mean that the entire success of the movie rests on the perfect timing of beats and sequences. There's a lot more to the Matrix than just structure. Thanks a lot for watching, and please take time to like and subscribe. Everyone is hugely appreciated.